All right, so today we are going to be talking about synonyms and antonyms. This lesson is all about synonyms. So, what are synonyms? So, look at this paragraph. What can you see? Jack is a great kid. His parent discovered his great power and great love of words when he was young. He read all the great books in the house at the age of 1. Well, looking at this paragraph, we can see that there are way too many greats, right? The writing is boring. Jack is a great kid. His parent discovered his great power, etc. So look at all of these greats. Great, 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 great. It's kind of boring. It's the same word repeated over and over again. It's not very interesting. So, what could we do to make it more interesting? Well, we first have to figure out what a synonym is. Synonyms are words that have the same or a very similar meaning. So they have to be the same part of speech. For example, an adjective, the word is sad, a synonym is unhappy. Word is cry, which is a verb. The synonym is weep. A noun, the word is child, a synonym is kid. Adverb, which is a word that describes a verb, is sadly, and a synonym would be unhappily. So, how do you find the right synonym for the repeated words? Well, the first thing you could do is look it up in a thesaurus. But what is a thesaurus? Well, a thesaurus is a book that lists the words and their synonyms. As you can see by the chart over here, you'll see there's a dictionary, can show the definition in detail. It also does provide the synonyms and antonyms. The thesaurus, however, does a short and simple definition and has a lot more synonyms and antonyms. Where can you find the synonyms? In the thesaurus. You can always go to thesaurus.com. So when you go to thesaurus.com and you type in great and you press the search button, the word pops up and you can see the short definition, right? Right down here, the short definition, great, very large. Then it has a whole bunch of synonyms, and you can even see the antonyms. So the synonyms of great are, or the meaning of great is excellent, skillful, right? Those could also be synonyms of great. So, the second thing you can do is look up the word in a dictionary, and we'll be using Wordsmith's Children's Dictionary. When you go, you want to make sure you click Children's Dictionary, and then you want to insert the word great or whatever word you're searching. When we do that, it shows there are two different meanings of great. One is a prefix, and one is the, the actual word. So we're going to use the actual word very large in size or number. When we click on that, it shows us what part of speech it is, and then it gives us the definition. Now, some words have more than one meaning. We call them homonyms. With different meanings, they have different synonyms. So let's look at a few different meanings of great. Great could mean very big in size or number. Synonyms for that meaning are big, large, and huge. The second meaning is that great means very important. Some synonyms for that are vital and serious. A third meaning for great is very good. Synonyms for that are wonderful, excellent, cool, super, fantastic. So you have to make sure you know the meaning of the word based on the context that it's in and around it. So, can we use any of the synonyms to replace the word great in the sentence? Peter is a great football player. The first meaning is great, meaning big in size. Peter is a big football player. Is that really what we're trying to convey in that sentence? Is that what we're trying to say in that sentence? No, we're not. But meaning two, great, very important. A synonym for that great meaning is serious. Peter is a serious football player. Well, is that what we're trying to portray in this sentence? No. So, Peter is a great football player. The third meaning is great, wonderful, excellent, super. Peter is a wonderful football player. Does that sound like what the meaning of the word that we're trying to get across in that sentence? Absolutely. The word wonderful is a stronger and more expressive word than great. So, making sure you're using the right synonym can help you become a better writer. So, now we're going to try this. We're going to replace the red word with a synonym. Peter caught a cold last night. He was very sick. Well, we're going to look up the word in a dictionary. And as you can see, it's an adjective. Definition: suffering from an illness, not well, suffering from a feeling of needing to throw up. Well, which of these meanings sound what we're kind of talking about? Um, According to the sentence, I would go with suffering from an illness and not well. Phoebe was sick with a cold. So the synonyms we'll use are bad, down, ill, unhealthy, or unwell. So again, sick means suffering from an illness, not well. So the synonyms are bad, down, ill, and unhealthy. Now, let's replace the word with the synonym down. Peter caught a cold last night. He was very down. Think about that for a second. Does that sound right? I mean, if you look, it was a synonym of sick, down, but it doesn't make sense. So, not all of the synonyms can replace a word. It depends on the meaning and the context and the placement of that word within that sentence. So, let's try to help Captain Doggy with his homework. He wrote a story and he needs to rewrite the sentences so they become more interesting. So he wrote, "What will I be? When I am big, I will buy a big house and a big car. Outside the big house, I will plant many big trees and build a big pond in my big garden." There is a word used many times in that paragraph. What is it? Big. Big, 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 big. Do you think it's good to use the same word over and over and over again? It's kind of boring. So let's see if we can fix it. So, synonyms are useful in writing. They make the writing more interesting and enjoyable. So, the first thing we can do is brainstorm. Can we think of any other words without looking them up with a similar meaning to big? Well, I know large and huge are two words for big. The second thing is you can go to the thesaurus.com, and in the thesaurus, it shows a whole lot of synonyms for the word big. Okay. So we need to look for the right synonyms for the word. Now, what we're talking about is big. Remember, big house, big car. Well, that does not mean great. We're not trying to say it's a great car, great house. We want to show about the size, right? So large is the definition. So, not all of these synonyms are going to work with our word, but we have to pick the ones out that will be most appropriate and most relatable to the definition for the word. So, I picked enormous, gigantic, huge, roomy, and spacious. So, let's see how they all fit within the story. When I am big, I will buy a spacious house and a large car. Outside the roomy house, I will plant many enormous trees and build a huge pond in my gigantic garden. Now, doesn't that sound so much more interesting and a little more specific, right? Can't you see it more descriptive? Remember, we've been talking about those sensory details and the descriptive words. Well, using those synonyms to find more descriptive words compared to your simple word will really enhance your writing. Okay, so now it's your turn. What I want you to do is using your vocabulary words and the thesaurus or the dictionary. You can find those links underneath this video. You can find one synonym for each of your vocabulary words. And that is what you're going to do for this lesson on synonyms.